What's up, guys? Scott here. If the free agent frenzy hasn't been crazy enough after Maxx Crosby, his deal with the Ravens was voided and he's now a Raider again. If that wasn't enough, 13 hours after that decision was made, Trey Hendrickson, former Cincinnati Bengal edge rusher, is now a Baltimore Raven.
What?
My head is spinning so much from all of this. All I can say is,
What the hell's going on out here?
Maxx Crosby's trade, as we talked about in the last episode, was voided due to some injury concerns found during the physical. I'm still questioning that. Even later this afternoon, the Ravens general manager came out, had a press conference, explained his thinking. I kind of don't buy it, really. I think he's just trying to save face for himself and the organization, and really he's got a lot of damage control to do, because that deal, voiding Maxx Crosby's deal, really screwed a whole bunch of other teams who were also interested in Maxx Crosby to be part of their team, which he still may be eventually. But, you know, Maxx Crosby, he had his knee surgery. He's just a few weeks out of recovering from it. I've had that same surgery before. It takes at least 6 months to recover from. So there's no way he was going to pass the physical, because he's not physically capable of playing at this point. He's just barely off of crutches, to my understanding. So that's not the reason they wanted to void this deal. I mean, the general manager is saying now that they actually wanted to sign both Crosby and Hendrickson. I also find that hard to believe, because if you've been listening to the news all day and watching NFL Network or any of the things, there's been reports that, you know, other teams were negotiating yesterday with Trey Hendrickson, trying to sign him, and then a mystery team showed up and started negotiating with Hendrickson. That mystery team, turns out that it was the Ravens. It coincides with the point in time once they found out there might have been something odd going on with Maxx Crosby's physical. So, did they want to sign them both? I don't know. Why wouldn't they have been negotiating with Hendrickson earlier? Why were these other teams surprised that this mystery team just popped in all of a sudden? They would have known that there was another team involved. Why did any of these NFL experts, NFL insiders, all the guys on NFL Network, they had no idea that the Ravens were dealing with Hendrickson? So I find Max DaCosta's explanation that they wanted to sign both of them a little hard to swallow. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I think they found something odd. I'll give them the fact that they found something odd with Maxx Crosby's physical, which, again, I find that hard to believe, because, you know, the guy's going to come back and he's going to have a great year. He just needs more time to heal. He's not going to be ready till like June, which is perfect for training camp. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's just say they found something different than they expected in the physical exam. Apparently, the Ravens doctors consulted other doctors, including the Dallas Cowboys team doctor. Dallas was also a huge in trying to get Maxx Crosby and Trey Hendrickson both. So maybe that's why Dallas hasn't jumped on Maxx Crosby and trying to deal with the Raiders. You know, they're going to wait and see, get some time and let Maxx Crosby heal more. But so apparently the Ravens consulted with other doctors and found out something odd with Maxx Crosby's physical, and decided to void the deal and get their draft picks back. So essentially trading Maxx Crosby back to the Raiders for their own draft picks, for their 2 #1 draft picks that they agreed to give them on Friday. Again, I find all of this kind of hard to believe. I'm not big into conspiracy theories, but I also think it's more like a buyer's remorse. You know, and if the thought is we're going to sign Trey Hendrickson and you want those draft choices back, then why not just sign Trey Hendrickson from the get-go? Like, why bother going for Maxx Crosby? That's where you could believe that they were maybe trying to sign both of them, but they wanted to sign Hendrickson for less money, and Hendrickson probably wasn't up for that because he wanted to get around $30 million a year, which he's going to wind up getting like 28 million plus incentives that could lead up to 30 million. So he's going to get what he wanted for 4 years. So maybe he's telling the truth that they wanted to get both of them, but I really find it hard to believe because none of the NFL insiders knew that they were dealing with Trey Hendrickson. So I mean, this whole situation is hard to swallow, but the way it stands now, Maxx Crosby is going back to the Raiders. Then the Raiders, who went crazy during this free agent signing period, are a much better team, will be a much better team than they were when Maxx Crosby was thinking he was leaving them on Friday and saying goodbye to everybody and podcasting about it and all the things he did. So he's caught off guard. He's now pissed. He's going to have a big chip on his shoulder whenever he plays the Ravens in the future. I can't wait to see the first time Maxx Crosby, whatever team he happens to be on, suits up against the Ravens. Oh, that's going to be a good one. Can't wait for that. So that happens. Maxx Crosby's now a Raider. And Trey Hendrickson, no one was really making any moves for him because I guess no one wanted to pay him. But the Ravens, once Maxx Crosby, they canceled that deal. 13 hours later, he signed, or they agreed to terms, which became final today at 4 p.m. So he is going to be a Raven. It's just a crazy, mind-boggling last couple of days. If you're an NFL fan and you're paying attention like I am, it's just wild. Watching the experts on TV, they're having the same kind of baffled reaction as I am. I truly don't buy the whole thing. And we're never really going to find out what they found in Maxx Crosby's physical because there's privacy laws regarding, your medical conditions. They're not going to go broadcasting that. So I don't think we'll ever know what the reason was that they decided to cancel the deal. I just feel they were realizing they're on the hook for $100 million to a guy whose knee maybe is not going to last as long as they think. To me, the thing that's going to let the Ravens off the hook is if Maxx Crosby comes back and plays this year and something happens and he goes down with that knee and we get a new medical report from whatever team he's on and we find out there was something else wrong with him. And also remember Maxx Crosby a while back had ankle surgery on that left side as well. So his left side, his ankle and his knee have both undergone some big surgeries in the last few years. So maybe there's a condition that the doctors saw that's leading to this. He's having a chronic injury on this side of his body. Oh, I don't know. I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan talking football. I don't know anything. I just know that my head is spinning. It's crazy. I don't buy the excuse from the Ravens. I don't buy that they were going to be trying to sign both of them. It just seems odd. I mean, luckily for them, no one else met Trey Hendrickson's price before this morning because he would have been gone. And then the Ravens, after losing an all-pro center, a solid tight end, and a few other key players to free agency, they were like, oh crap, what kind of team are we going to have? We got to get out of this Maxx Crosby deal and get our draft picks back so we can build up our team. I think that's really what was going on. Once they lost their center, Tyler Linderbaum, that's when they realized we're losing too many big pieces and we need those draft choices back. So let's figure out a way to get out of this Maxx Crosby deal. And then they jumped into the Trey Hendrickson contract situation and signed him. That's my opinion. It just seems too much that they were going to try and sign two $30 million defensive ends. That much money allocated to two players is just too much for the accounting of your team and your salary cap and trying to field a team. So again, I don't buy it. They wanted one of the guys. Something's up with Maxx Crosby, or they had buyer's remorse. They felt bad after they were losing good players that they were hoping to re-sign, and then decided we need those draft choices back and we'll just sign Trey Hendrickson, and that's what we're going to do. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents. That's my opinion. Who knows what's true? Maybe what the general manager said is true. Also, you're spending someone else's money. The owner of the team if he doesn't want to spend that money, that could be the reason they called it up too, and they're using the physical, failing the physical as the excuse. But we all knew he was going to fail his physical. He's barely off crutches. He's not ready to play. He's going to fail the physical. So anyway, I'm ranting, I'm rambling. My head has been spinning all day with this story. I have so many other things I want to talk about. We will get to that the next time. I just wanted to address this Maxx Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, Baltimore Ravens situation because it's just been wild. I don't know. What do you guys think? What have you been thinking about all of this? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in the next episode.